It is time to learn how to break out of your people-pleasing habits. If you are a good girl, if you are always trying to be good, trying to be nice, trying to people-please for a man, to be good enough, to be worthy enough for his time, for his attention, for his commitment, then this is definitely the video for you. Hello, my name is Zach Rohde, and I am here to lead you into creating the relationship of your dreams by inspiring a man into cherishing you, by you learning how to use feminine energy and feminine communication. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that below, hit the notification bell, and be sure to like this video because I'm going to make it a good one for you. All right, one of the big issues that I see with many of my clients in my Relationship of Your Dreams Academy program is they have been conditioned to be the good girl, to be the people pleaser. And that becomes a really big problem with a man because men don't respect people pleasers. Nobody respects a people pleaser because what is happening when you are people pleasing is you don't believe that you are worthy of his care, of his devotion, of his commitment, of his time, unless you are basically being someone that you're not. You're putting on a mask, you're trying to do things for him to be good enough, to be worthy enough. And that could be complimenting him, that could be going along with what he wants even though it doesn't feel good, that could be doing nice things for him that he didn't ask you to do, right? Kind of going into mothering energy. It could be putting on this kind of feminine costume. It could even be using feminine communication, which is what I teach, right? Using a feminine communication, phrasing things in a certain way to please a man. When you do that, you're communicating that you lack self-worth. You're communicating that you're not worthy enough as you are. And he is going to lose attraction for you. And he's going to lose connection to you. And the more that you do it, the less attracted he's going to be to you. Right? And this should be obvious. So, many of you, maybe most of you, maybe all of you already know this. But, you flip everything around and think about a man doing this to you, right? Being the people pleaser. And he's doing all this nice stuff for you. Maybe he's paying for dates and he's taking you out and he's making your life easier, but he's doing it with the intention of being worthy enough for you, trying to please you, but because he doesn't believe that he's worthy enough as it is, right? The actions are great, right? Paying for all your dates and making your life easier, that's great stuff. But when he's doing it with that intention, then he is communicating that the real him is not worthy enough for you. What's going to happen? You're going to start to lose attraction for him. You're going to start to lose connection for him. It's going to start to feel more draining to spend time with him, to interact with him, to do what he wants. You're going to lose respect for him. You're also actually going to feel less safe with him, right? You're going to feel some level of anxiety because as a woman, you need to know that your man is solid. And if he's people-pleasing, then he's not solid. So it's going to be a very similar but somewhat different experience for a man when you do that kind of stuff. The problem is it's hard to shift that pattern because that is a childhood survival pattern that you developed to stay safe, to get your needs met, right? You became the good girl because if you weren't, then maybe your parents, you could tell that they were more irritated with you, that they would shut you down. Like maybe if you were being the real you, if you're sharing more emotions in some kind of way, if you were acting the way that you really wanted to, you might have felt their hearts close off to you. And you might have noticed that you got a better response when you were wearing what's essentially a costume, right? The people-pleasing good girl costume. And so you started being the good girl. You started being the people pleaser to get as much love as you could, to get your needs as met as possible, to avoid being abandoned as much as possible. And that's a really deeply ingrained pattern. So it's not as easy as you just watching this video and me saying, hey, just stop people pleasing, because you're going to do it unconsciously. And when you try to stop, you're going to feel fear. You're going to feel maybe a lot of fear because by stopping, or even just the thought of stopping, it brings up this fear of, oh my God, I might be abandoned. I might be judged. I might be rejected. My needs might not get met. He might be angry with me. And so that fear is going to compel you, probably most of the time, back into the people-pleasing pattern. And then you're going to continue to get more of what you don't want, which is a man who is not nearly as attracted to you, not nearly as connected to you, not nearly as devoted to you as you need. Your needs go unmet. And you might even get abandoned. If not physically, then certainly emotionally, right? Because his heart will be more close to a woman who is people-pleasing. So you will be abandoned, no matter what. And understand that it's not the real you that's even being abandoned, right? Because you're not even showing the real you. You're showing a costume. You're showing survival pattern. That's not you. The people pleaser is not you. So if a man rejects that part of you, he's not even rejecting you. The solution to this, obviously you have to move through the fear. There's no avoiding that. There's no shortcut that I can give you. There's no magic pill that I can give you. You have to move through the fear. You have to be courageous. You have to be incredibly brave, and you have to be able to persevere. You have to be resilient. We'll call it resilient in a feminine way because it's kind of like a masculine term. But you're being resilient in a feminine way to continue moving through this fear. And essentially for you, moving through the fear is actually energetically letting go. It's letting go of the costume. It's showing a man who you really are. And the main way that you're going to be able to do that is by using what I call feminine communication, right? Because what feminine communication is showing a man your heart. It's taking off everything, all of the guards, all of the pretend niceness, the good girl facade, and showing him who you really are. Because underneath that, there's going to be anger, assuming that you're in touch with your anger. It's certainly there. If you're not in touch with your anger, which many of the women who are people pleasers, who are really in that good girl dynamic, a lot of women aren't even in touch with their anger. That's a topic for another video. Fear, right? Feeling anxious, feeling shame, feeling sadness. These are negative feelings, but they're all beautiful feelings. And you must be willing to show all of them. The good girl doesn't want to show them because she's good. She's got things together. She's not going to be rocking the boat. But if you start really getting vulnerable and sharing what you're really experiencing, what are you doing? You're letting go of that pretend self that you are trying to be for him. That pretend self is never going to get you what you want. And I know that it's scary, and it might seem illogical to a woman who's really conditioned by this people-pleasing behavior, but it's your real self and being confident in that real self that's going to get you everything that you want. It will. And you don't even have to be perfect with that real self. You just have to be real, which means sharing all of your negative feelings, learning to communicate all of your needs, whatever they are. And of course, you got to do it in the right way, because if you do it in the wrong way, if you do it in a more masculine way, then a man's not going to want to give them to you, because when you communicate them in the wrong way, you're actually disrespecting him, right? Because you're using masculine energy, you're energetically leading, at least in a softened way, and then when his needs aren't met, he's not going to be inspired to meet your needs. So you have to do it in the right way. And the right way, understand, is the real you. Right? Using feminine communication is the real you. You just haven't been given a voice. Your parents didn't teach you how to communicate the real you in this beautiful, vulnerable way. But when you learn how to do it, it becomes so natural. Also, learning how to not do stuff that he didn't ask you to do, and not do stuff that doesn't feel right for you. Because that's a really big part of the people-pleasing pattern. You've got to be willing to share what's really coming up for you. You've got to be willing to put yourself first and put your heart first. And that doesn't mean being selfish. one of those selfish girls that it's all about her. No, because in a devoted relationship, your man is giving you so much, right? He's being selfless in the fact that he just loves to give. He loves to care for you. He loves to make your life easier. He loves to take away your burdens. And he's leading you to do stuff that's making his life easier, whether that's cooking him meals or whatever that is, right? So you're both making each other's lives better. You're both supporting each other, but in different ways. Him by leading you, and you by following his leadership. And when he's taking care of you, and you're getting your needs met, it's going to feel good for you to meet his needs, right? But not from a place of people pleasing, not from a place of fear, not from a place of trying to get his approval, but just because it feels good to follow your man and to respect your man. And you're essentially actually doing that for you because it feels good to do that. You actually get joy out of doing that. Just like a man, he feels so good taking care of you. He's not doing it because he's people pleasing, or at least he shouldn't be, right? When a man is in his power, he's taking care of you from a place of true devotion. Just like you, when you are following a man where it feels good for you, you're doing out of true respect, not out of fear, not out of people pleasing. So this is what we help women do in our academy program. And these are deep rooted patterns, really deep. And this is also what we show women how to do, the basics of anyway, on our Polarity Masterclass, right? We will show you exactly how to make these shifts. We will show you the communication. We will practice the communication with you. And you will learn how to inspire a man into helping you shift out of your people-pleasing patterns, right? You don't have to do this all yourself. It gets way easier when you learn the communication and learn how to inspire a man to start taking care of you in that way, to start coaching you in that way. Like imagine if you had a Zach Rody in your relationship, in your love life, to coach you out of all your unhealthy patterns. That's what feminine communication helps you do. Because you're getting so real with the man. You're really communicating what's going on for you. You're asking for help with the things that you need. And it's magic. So all of my links to my offers, including my academy program, so working with me, and including my masterclass, they are all below this video. Make sure that you check them out because they will change your life. They really will. You got to get serious. You got to take action. Go to the description, click the links, start learning how to inspire a man to cherish you using feminine communication and feminine energy.